All right, Praise 102.5, Atlanta's Inspiration Station. What's up, family? Nico here, again on the couch, and this time I'm joined by my good brother, Mr. Joe L. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, what's going on? Can't call it.
Man, listen, I'm super excited to have you on the couch. You and I had bumped into each other a couple of times over the last month or so.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's good to be here with you today because the album is finally about to drop. The Good Shepherd is here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes,
man.
Sir. Oh, Lord. I'm nervous. I'm nervous, man.
You nervous?
Yeah.
Man, and I was going to talk to you about that, man, because you've written some songs for some heavy hitters. You performed, of course, with Maverick City. And, you've done a lot of great things, man. But to hear you are nervous it's kind of mind-blowing because people don't understand sometimes, even though you're in this spotlight, you are still human, right?
Yes.
And you have normal feelings. And I heard Taraji P. Henson say something recently. She said, if you don't still get nervous, that is an issue. That is a problem. And so to hear you say that after you've been performing in front of thousands of people is amazing. But I'm glad to hear that you're in a place where you just ready to drop this good album, The Good Shepherd.
Amen. Yeah, no, I think nervousness is good. It means that you care about like what
Absolutely.
you created and what
Absolutely.
you're investing in and what you're depositing into. Like I think like it's a good thing to be nervous, but my nervousness is because I'm like, Lord, I have no idea if any of this stuff is gonna land the way I think it is. Because like most of the time when I'm writing music that like I need to hear or I needed to hear when I was in like dark spaces or when I was unsure, or I'm writing from very real like vulnerable places. So then when you release it, it's like, oh no, I'm giving like pieces of my heart out and to the world for anybody to like critique, love, hate, dislike, whatever. And it's like, that's a very nerve-wracking thing.
Yeah.
But then simultaneously with that, it's like everything that I've released thus far before this album was all collaborative stuff.
Yeah.
So I think like because it was all collaborative, I'm like, okay, that was able to be an extra like layer of shield and all things, but this one doesn't have any
shield
kind
is
of.
off.
There's no shield. There's no safety net. It's just like I just have to trust that the thing that me and God have been sitting with is going to do exactly what it's supposed to, and I have to just like take my hands off of it and let it be and let it breathe. But it is a little scary.
Yeah, it's a little scary. I want to talk more about The Good Shepherd, the album, man.
Yes.
And I see. It's going to be a collaboratory thing. There's going to be, I see you said it's going to be like gumbo.
It's going to be gumbo.
And I know that you grew up in a musical house.
I did.
So I'm curious for those who are anticipating this album, like what can they expect from this, brother?
Oh, bro, like I said, it's going to be gumbo. You have things that feel very like 70s, like heavy bass line, like grooves. You have things that are going to be very CCM. You have things that are going to be very pop. You have like the deep worship that is like it's going to take you a second to digest. Okay. You have the very like trap Jersey beat. You have that very like Jersey beat kind of vibe on songs like Count Me In. Like it's literally all different like types of styles that are now meshed in with worship that I'm like, oh, this is really a pot of gumbo.
Right.
So it's interesting.
I love it. Cannot wait to check it out. I do want to talk about just in general the importance to you in gospel or CCM and just music in itself right now. And when you put this album together, what was your mindset going into it? Did you have any restraints of what you want to do?
No, I think in the beginning I was just creating the things that was stirring me and that were like I was sitting with as I was like reading through the 23rd Psalm over and over. And I'm gonna be honest, I went on a very interesting like nosedive when me and God started like nosediving on this Good Shepherd concept and thought. I started literally like putting on random like sheep noise in the background while I slept, and I ordered every book about like shepherding that I could find. I started looking at like books like Jesus Through Middle Eastern Eyes, and like there's a book that my pastor gave me called A Shepherd Looks at Psalm 23, and it literally breaks down the 23rd Psalm and gives you the natural correlation as to why David chose each individual line to bring out the like supernatural sides. And I talk about one of them on the album, but it's one specific line. It talks about "Thou anointest my head with oil, and my cup runneth over." And he's like, "This sounds super poetic." it sounds super like, oh wow, that's so beautiful to be said, but really there's a whole history behind the anointing the heads with oil. Quick backstory is that sheep have no defenses.
Right.
Even for their, like, we have nose hairs to defend us from dust and bugs. They don't even have that. So in the field, like, nose flies will try to plant eggs inside of the nose of the sheep.
Okay.
And if it's successful, larvae will hatch and bury themselves and hedge themselves in the flesh of the sheep and even into the brain if they're not stopped, right? And the sheep will bury their face in dirt and bang their heads against rocks and trees trying to kill off the internal struggle that they can't get freedom from because they can't, right? So then the shepherd will cover their heads in oil. And the oil does three things. It pulls out the larva, it pulls out the dirt, it pulls out the things that were tormenting on them on the inside. It provides a layer of protection around the nose so that doesn't happen again. And then it heals the bruises that were left behind from them banging their heads against the rock and against the tree. And I was like, God, this is crazy. He said, well, and God started dealing with me about the industry that we're in and about the world that we're in. He's like, you're seeing your peers, like, you get alert on your phone and you see that someone took their life, and it's because they were in depression, they were in anxiety, there were internal struggles that they couldn't get freedom from, and they weren't sleeping well. He's like, it's because there were things that they were dealing with in their life. And like, I'm like, God, please anoint our heads with oil then. Let the oil pull out the internal traumas and the struggles and let it heal the inside. Let it provide a protective layer so that doesn't happen again, and let it heal the bruises that were left behind from us trying to get it out ourselves. Like, God started dealing with me about each individual line. I'm like, we have to write about it. So then I started realizing that this album was directed towards the people like us that are in positions of authority, the ministers, the people that are so responsible for leading the charge. We're the ones that have to have something to give to the people, but whoever has something to give to us, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to go directly to the shepherd. So like, I am not trying to reintroduce God as the good shepherd in this album. I'm trying to build an environment, an atmosphere, a culture, and an altar that will allow anybody to walk into the room and allow God to reintroduce himself to us as the good shepherd. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that you brought up that, because I heard you say that before about this record, this album is going to be for those who normally minister to others. And I thought that was so key, because there are so many of us are walking around, like you said, who are battling anxiety, depression, and all of these things on a normal everyday. And I'm just curious, what do Joel do when you are having a weak moment? Like, when you having a moment where you're like, God, like, what do I need to do? Like, what is something that you recommend to the people?
I honestly recommend a few things. One, I say, like, go on a walk, get into the sun, like, let there be vitamin D, like, go get in the sun.
That is so key.
It is so key. Get some fresh air, go on a walk, get into the sun, like, sit and like find environments that feel safe. I would say, like, most people, I won't say most people, I'll say this. I have built my, like, house and where I'm at to be such a space of peace for me. Like, a lot of people don't like the environments they're in at home. I'm like, no, I made sure that my environment is the safest place on earth for me. So from every candle that I have, that, like, the scents that I choose, from the drapes that I have, from whatever, I'm like, everything in this house makes me feel safe and seen and heard. And it's conducive for God to, like, meet me in any of it. I now recognize that, God, you will meet me at this dinner table. You will meet me in my living room couch. I could turn on my YouTube and turn worship on, and you will meet me. I'm like, I'm going to create an atmosphere that's conducive for you and I to, like, commune. So my entire house is now an altar. You can meet me anywhere that I am in this house. So I think I'll go on a walk, I'll sit still, I'll cut on a pad, I'll just go and do something that is restful, that has nothing to do with what I do for a living.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I call my coverings, I call my mentors. I'm like, I'm gonna come and hang out with y'all for a day. Like, we don't got to do anything. You don't have to entertain me. I'm not a person that has to be entertained. I can come to your house and just jump into whatever you're doing. You don't have to stop what you're doing to entertain me. I'm like, you can just leave me in this little corner. I just like being around good people with good energy and good vibes, good spirits. And I'm like, okay, great. I know you pray. So I'm just gonna come in your house. I'm gonna sit over in this little corner. You can live your life. Don't worry about me. Just act like I'm not even here. I just want to be around good people. So I'd go around people that I know are good people. Like, these are the things that I do when I'm in dark spaces. So
love that. I love that. And like you, I do the same in my home as well. I tell people all the time, if your house is not your sanctuary, a peace, then it's no good. I mean, everything, like you said, from the color of the curtains to the candles. And I'm a candle guy, by the way. I'm a huge candle man.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Next time I see you, I'm gonna bring you a candle.
Oh, bro, listen. I need to get a candle line, because literally, like, you know, I probably could I owe a lot of money to Bed Bath & Beyond. But anyway, but yeah, man, that's really good, and I'm really glad to hear you say that because we need more artists and more people like yourself to speak on that.
Yeah.
And so that's really good. When people hear the last track on this album,
Wind of Love.
What is it?
Wind of Love.
Yes. What do you want them to leave with?
I want them to leave with the revelation of no matter how wavy and like rough life gets, it's all working to the good. Like all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. Like the reality is, life does have ups and downs. Life has very wavy seasons, and I think that sometimes that wind or that storm is carrying you in a direction that you need to be in, or where God is trying to land you. Like what I've learned from my personal life is that there's been some very interesting wavy seasons, but when the dust settled and when the waves calmed down, I was exactly where I was supposed to be. Sometimes we think that the storms are to try to like take us out or like put us under,
right,
but really it's not. It's just getting you to the destination faster than what you anticipated. It just is a little, you know what I'm saying? So now I don't get as nervous about turbulence when I'm on plane flights. I'm like, it's getting me to where I'm supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? I think we are driven and like groomed to believe that like anything rocky is for our demise, and like sometimes it's for the sharpening, or sometimes it's for the sanding down, or sometimes it's for the preparation of what we're supposed to be in. So I think, but also, I will say that when I say Wind of Love, I'm one of those people that's like, not only am I submitted to the Lord, I'm submitted to the wind, meaning that like, God, I've given up anything that I thought my life should look like to let you determine what it should look like. You tell me where to go. That's it. One of my friends, Stephanie Gressinger, said this. There's a lot of people that are doing things and saying, God, bless what I'm doing. God, please come and bless what I'm doing. Instead of doing what He's blessing. There's things that God is breathing on and that He's blessing, and they don't want to collaborate with Him. They want Him to come and collaborate with them. They want the permissive will, not the perfect will. And I think I've decided in my own life to say, I'm submitting to the wind and I want the perfect will. I don't want the permissive. I want to do what you're blessing. So I'm snatching the steering wheel off of my ship. I'm putting my sails up, and I'm letting the wind of heaven carry me where I'm supposed to go. In every season of life. So that's what I mean by like, let the wind of love blow. Like, let it carry me wherever I'm supposed to be, because wherever you are is where I want to be at anyway. And that's the best place to be. And I currently came out of that season, still technically in that season. And all weekend I kept hearing God say, "Be still and know." Be still and know. That I am God. Man, I'm telling you, when you find peace, whether it's in your home or in your heart, that's all that matters. Sir. And you can just let God literally, like you said, take your hands off the driving wheel and let Him, what is it, GPS, God's positioning system? Hey, man, let that thing ride, man. Let it go.
Man, come on.
Man.
The Good Shepherd,
the Good Shepherd.
Excited. Joel, bro, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Y'all, make sure y'all copy it. Go get it. Go buy it. You know,
Please.
We love streaming, but go buy it and support this good brother.
I appreciate it.
It's praise.
Thank you.